What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is honestly one of my favorite ones to film, and it's more for me, I would say, than for anybody else because it's just a reminder of all the wonderful things that happened during this season, and that would be none other than my birthday haul. Most of these things are things that I have purchased for myself. I will preface this by saying that I tend to go crazy for my birthday, for Valentine's Day, and for anniversary every single year. That being said, this year I did tell my husband that I'm not going to go too crazy for our anniversary. I want to keep it well maintained, and I may or may not be doing something for Valentine's Day next year. I would rather do a trip or something like that if possible. So because of that, I decided to go all out for my birthday. So I just want to preface that by saying this. And then I figured you guys might enjoy seeing the haul. So there's a lot of random things going on. And I just wanted to say that one of my best friends, she's very, very, very kind. She's actually been on the channel before, and that's no other than Mina, has invited me to come visit her and spend time with her over the course of my birthday weekend, which is happening at the end of June. So I'm very, very excited for said trip and to spend some time with her. So naturally, I had to go glam out and get all the outfits that I was gonna wear for this weekend. I also ended up getting some things that are book related and board game related. So there's definitely a little bit of that too, because I just would not be me without books in my life. So that will also be included in this haul. So without further ado, we will jump into it shortly. But I just wanted to say, for those of you that are new here, welcome. This is not the usual content for the channel. Typically on the channel, we have more bookish related content, specifically related to fiction, pretty much of any genre, honestly. I love to read. It's honestly something that brings me great joy and I have a lot of passion for. So I love to talk books on this channel, and then I do a little smattering of randomness here and there. And last year I filmed a birthday haul, so I figured this year I would also film a birthday haul. And that is what brings us to this. Now, the first thing that I wanted to showcase is actually a travel tote. I recently bought a beautiful, beautiful duffel that's great for traveling, and it has a compartment at the bottom to put your shoes in and things like that. But it's a little bit oversized for something to be used as a carry-on for your domestic flights. It's great for international travel, especially if you're going to be flying longer distances where they allow larger carry-ons. But unfortunately, in this particular instance, I realized that I needed a smaller duffel. So I decided that I would try the trending brand of Béis, which is the one that was started by Shay. She's the actress that was in Pretty Little Liars. And I decided to get the Weekender tote. So I did end up getting the beige Weekender tote with my name actually printed on the bag as well. And I love the embroidered effect. I love the fact that you have the zip pocket in the front, so you can actually stuff any important travel documents and things like that there, so it's easy access. I love the separated compartment. I tend to use this for shoes, potentially bags, depending on what I'm taking and where I'm going. The back compartment, this actually can zip, so if you need an additional pocket, you can turn it into a pocket, or it's a great way to just put it on top of your suitcase. And then I love the fact that it comes with a crossbody strap as well as the two handles. I find that the bag itself is actually very light, so you can actually pack quite a few things into it, which is absolutely wonderful. And then inside the bag, you have the big pocket in the back, you have the zip, and then you have two smaller pockets as well, which means that this bag can basically carry just about anything you want. It definitely works as a Weekender tote if you just wanted to pack it for a weekend to take on a small trip with you. It also works for most airlines. Spirit Airways, for example, would allow this onto the plane. It does fit under the seat in front of you, which is absolutely great. This I've tried on Alaskan flights as well as American flights, and I've been doing very well with it. I have yet to try it on Southwest, Spirit, some of the other flights, but I have overall really been enjoying the Weekender tote. So part of the reason we're also filming this video is because once I actually put all this up, I get to start packing it. So I'm also doing a what's in my bag situation for my traveling trip to where I'm going to visit my best friend. That being said, I want to start with the bookish related content first, so that way if anyone loves that and they want to stick with that, they can stay for this and then they can jump off before the other stuff starts getting shown. And I'm going to start off with the board games. So for those who don't know, and I think a lot of people may not know actually, because I don't talk about it too much on this channel, I love board games. I grew up in a board game family. In my household, we probably had about I would say 8 to 10 bookshelves filled with just board games. Growing up as a child, I loved everything. Like, game night for me never started with Monopoly. It always started with Catan and then just grew up from there. And so when I discovered this brand by Gamelyn, which I was actually exposed to when I lived in Seattle briefly from one of my roommates at the Airbnb who was also into gaming, I was like, this is so cool because it's high concept board game vibes in a very, very small packable travel sized box. Now, many of these games, when they actually do get opened up, they do take up the entire table. So they are table hogs, but at the same time, it's just easy to throw in a bag and run off with. Most of these games can be played, actually, let me rephrase that. All of these games can be played single player, but they can also be played with up to 4 to 5 players, which is absolutely insane and amazing. So let's talk a little bit about them. The first game that I picked up is Tiny Epic Zombies. Now, Tiny Epic Zombies is just so entertaining and so cute. The meeples in this game are absolutely adorable. For those that don't know, meeples are basically like the little pieces that look like people. They're oftentimes wooden, sometimes plastic, and you can basically take them and move them across the board. And I love the little meeples in this game because they come with little weapons that you can actually put into their armholes so that they're carrying their weapons. It also has a life-size motorcycle and car, not life-size, sorry, game-size motorcycle and car that you're using in order to escape all of the little zombies that are in there. Now, the vibes of this game is you're basically trapped inside of a mall and you and your group have to basically get out. You have various events that'll take place throughout the course of the game as well. And your job is to basically best the zombies. This is oftentimes played as a group game. So it's you and your compadres against the game. It's a cooperative game. It also has the cutest little dice. And I love the little cutouts on the dice that actually showcase the different things that can happen when you roll the die. You also get all of your different cards and things like that. And you're actually going to use these cards to build out part of your board as well. And it's just so cute. Now, have I actually played this game yet? No, I have not. Have I tried reading the rules? Yes, I have. And I am so excited to actually sit down and play the game. So that's the vibes of Tiny Epic Zombies. And basically, you are in a mall trying to escape the zombie apocalypse. I just think that in general, Gamelyn does such a good job of putting its game components together. For the most part, I feel like they're pretty straightforward. A lot of them have very similar mechanics when it comes to how you score life and how you score points and things like that in terms of the cards and things like overall basic gist of game rules. However, each game is very unique in terms of its theme. So I love this one for its cooperative vibes, and I can't wait to go kill some zombies. The only thing I will say is I hate the rule books. I think they're overly wordy and a little bit confusing, but if you can sit down and read through the rules, you can actually get quite a bit of play from all of the games. I also like the fact that because of the variety of ways in which you can set up each game, you're gonna get replayability with every single game that you play, which is always what we're looking for with a good board game. The next game I wanted to talk about is Tiny Epic Galaxies. This is the second game that I picked up. There is a theme here. Most of the games that I picked up are from Gamelyn, and I just love the fact that they're little sets and you can literally just keep all the boxes together. So Tiny Epic Galaxies is basically a game where you are trying to take over planets and establish your galaxy as the best galaxy. You are going to be operating from the perspective of your science, your culture, your overall growth. You basically take your spaceships and go to various planet cards that are being released, and you can either land on the planet and try to take over the planet, or you can land in the center of the planet as a guest and gain the benefits that that planet gives you. There's different ways that you can kind of manipulate how you're taking your turns in order to win this game. This one is probably the most well-known and well-played game. This is one of the very first Tiny Epic games that was ever released, and based on a lot of reviews that I saw, this is a fan favorite for many people. This is also one of the few games that actually has a larger playing capacity, so this game can actually seat up to 5 people, which I absolutely love. Within this game, once again, you get your little ships that you're going to be using in order to go to planets, and you have your markers that actually measure your various culture and things like that. You have the cards that actually have the various planets on them that you're trying to take over, as well as some of the rule cards that you can play with as well. So you have like the noble, you also have the industrialist and such things that give you special benefits as well. And then outside of that, you also get the dice, which is basically what you're rolling. This is a die rolling game that allows you to manipulate your actions. Then you also have your own player mat, which is basically going to allow you to keep track of your score as well as the different movements that you are achieving. I would say of all the Tiny Epic games, this one's probably the most easy to understand and play. Again, it seats a little bit more players. And I will also say this one's fun as a solo play as well. This is the Tiny Epic game that I was first introduced to when I was living in Seattle with that roommate. It was so much fun playing with him and some of his friends, and I was so excited that he found this game because honestly it imprinted into my mind since those days. And then I literally moved and forgot the title of the game. So when I discovered this game again, I was really excited and I had to get my hands on it. So there you go, Tiny Epic Galaxies. The next game that I picked up is Tiny Epic Vikings. Now this game was actually a fan favorite with my family. Let me rephrase that. My brother hated this game but did admit, much to his dismay, that it was actually one that required a lot of intelligence and thinking. My dad really loved this game. In fact, we recently went for a family function and he was asking whether I had brought it with me so that we could try it again. My mom really enjoyed it as well, and I absolutely love this game. This is a high strategy game in my humble opinion, and there's a lot of different things that you can do on your turn. This game is basically a worker placement game with a little bit of strategy in terms of how you use your actions per turn. On your turn, you can basically use the supplies that you have gathered, resources in other words. You can either get grain, wood, or steel. Using steel, you can raid different villages, and then if you raid a village, you can actually use that to gain a boon from a god of your favor, or increase their fury. That's the goal of the game. You're trying to increase the fury of the gods in this game. You can also use it in order to gain extra resources, an extra building turn, things like that. You can also use a turn to dock a boat and load people onto an island, which is how you show influence over the island and gain the rune tile that is sitting on that island. Other things that you can do, you can also, during your turn, sail to move to different areas. You can also build a bigger building there, temples and things like that. You can build more ships, etc., in order to have more influence over the board itself. Within this game, I would say it's a delicate balance between resources, control of the different ruins, raiding the villages, and such things. In this game, every single time you take over an island and you collect the rune from that island, you're increasing the fury of one of the Viking gods. Once you increase the fury of the Norse god, the god in turn actually has advantages that they can provide to you as well. You can fight battles in this game in order to win battles and gain cards that give you runes as well as gold. At the end of the game, you're basically going to be scoring the value of the runes you've collected, either from physically going in and raiding a village or from the battles that you have won. And the person with the largest number of runes for the most furious god wins the game. That probably made no sense at all, but I promise you it's a lot of fun and it was very enjoyable to play. I love the little board that this comes with. It's so cute. This one did take some time to read through the rules. I probably read them about 3 times before I actually got a full hang of the game. But these are the little character pieces that you have. These are the runes that we're talking about. So you have 3 different colors of runes. These are the little villages that I was talking about that you can raid. Here are the cards that you can fight for and win. So you can see it has runes on the top as well as resources that you can gain. And this is a deck building game. So the first half of the game, you're going to basically take cards, pass them around, and you're actually going to do a deck building activity. Once your deck has been built, then you use those cards and your worker placement in order to influence the board. You also have the tiles that basically mark the different eras, and these tokens also come into play when you're doing the single player version as well. You also have a playing mat that's basically going to go through and allow you to score your points as well as your overall resources as you're moving throughout the game. And then here is the actual board, which is basically the various fjords and the attached islands that you're going to in order to gain the ruins. It does have 2 sides, so you have a 1, 2, 3, and then you have a 4 or 5 player side, and the board is marked to indicate how many players can play. I'm sorry, just 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, or 4 players. And I just think that it was such a fun game to play, so easy to pack, and it was beautiful on the cruise when we went to Alaska because it was just so much fun to play a water-based Viking game in the middle of a cruise. It was just very joyful. I don't know why. It brought me great joy, but it did. It did. So that's Tiny Epic Vikings, and I absolutely love this game. This one's probably my favorite so far. This is Tiny Epic Crimes. This is basically Clue for adults. Essentially, you have cards in this that basically build out into a 5x5 grid of the city. And you as a cop are basically trying to collect information in various different ways that will then allow you to solve the murder mystery of who committed the murder. While you are looking this up though, and you're trying to solve this, there are various things that keep happening in the city that you and your compatriots have to deal with. You have to deal with them. And then on top of that, you also have crime mob bosses that are showing up left, right, and center that you have to catch. And overall, it's just a delicate balance of trying to accumulate clues while also staying on top of the events that are taking place. Guaranteed, I have never seen anyone play this game and successfully get every single clue by the end of the game, but most people can usually get about 4 out of 5 of the clues and have a good guess on who the mob boss is. This game, I think, is just so much fun. It's so cute. You have this little bag that you put all the different crime bosses in and you draw them out. Here are the little crime boss pieces that you have and your car that's driving around. These are the little tokens that you place across the grid for all the different clues that you're getting. And then you have these little sleeves that you put the card into each time to view what that clue is saying. So as you can see, it has the little red, I forgot what it's called, but that red thing that allows you to see through the grid in order to see the picture that you're trying to find. That's how you get evidence in this. You have the city cards themselves, which actually build out into the block. You have various advanced cards that you can also gain that basically give you benefits throughout the course of the game. The dice are also bullet dice, which is just so cute. You also have your little magnifying glass that allows you to see what clues you have discovered. And overall, I just think it's a great game for clue lovers everywhere because it definitely feels like Clue for adults. I find that this one was very, very fun for me and my husband. And even though we were really frustrated trying to read the rules originally, theme there. I hate these rule books. The game itself, when it played out, was a lot of fun. This can be played as a co-op game, a singular person game, or you can do a version of this game where each one of you is actually competing against each other to figure out who the mob boss is first. Overall, great game. Definitely recommend. The next game that I got is Tiny Epic Pirates. Now in this game, you're basically a goods collecting pirate. You're gonna basically take all these products and go to various places and drop them off. It has a very fun wheel that you're actually using and you're spinning in order to take your various actions. And it is on the longer side, but I would say that in general, it's very, very cute. In this game, you have tiny miniature ships that you're actually sailing around in order to influence things. You also have, as you can see, ships galore. Ships galore. And then you have products that you're trying to take with you. You have various pirate cards that are going to be influencing what happens in the game. You have your booty dice, which are just so pretty. If you notice here, I love the little, oops, no, you can't see. I love the little finishes on the dice. You have pirate coins, because who doesn't like pirate coins? And then you have your various ships, and you have the wheel that you're building out in order to take your turns. Again, very, very well thought out game, very cute game. This is on the longer side. It does take some time to play this game. My husband and I have not actually tried this one yet, but I was able to read through the rules, and it definitely takes some time to think through your various actions and take those various actions and sell all of these products. But that being said, it had great reviews and I am very excited to actually finally play this game. As you can see, I went on a game storm and bought a ton of games this year for my birthday. So I'm very, very, very excited to play all of them and we'll be hosting a game night soon. This is the little rule book that it comes with. Now, the fun thing about these Tiny Epic games is that you can also buy expansions if you're interested in doing so, just to make it a little bit more fun. So with this Tiny Epic Pirates game, we actually got the expansion, which is the Curse of Amdiok. And so basically it just adds a ghost ship and ghost pirates. It makes the game a little bit longer, but it just makes it a little bit more fun with the curses and very Pirates of the Caribbean vibe. So I would definitely be playing this game while watching that movie or listening to the soundtrack in the background. Next up, I have Tiny Epic Dungeons. This one I haven't actually looked at yet. I haven't even played it yet. I haven't really even opened the box yet. But the idea of the game is that you're basically doing a dungeon crawl, and each time you go through a different layer of the dungeon, you have monsters that you're facing, and you're basically trying to successfully make it through the dungeon and find the gold and win. You are basically playing as a miniature hero, and you're going to be going through the dungeon. There's 28 dungeon cards in total. There's loot cards, there's spell cards, there's 6 goblins, there are 8 minions, and there's 8 hero mats, etc., etc. And so basically the goal of this game is to just get through the dungeon and successfully complete the dungeon crawl. This handles 1 to 4 players, and it is one of those games that takes a little bit longer time to play. This is a 30 to 60 minute game, but from what I've heard, it can actually take a little bit longer than that. But one of my favorite games of all times is Dungeon Lords. I absolutely love that game, and that game is basically where you are the dungeon monster. You are the dungeon master. You are a monster, you have imps at your service, you have ghouls and goblins, and these annoying heroes keep attacking your dungeon, and you're just like, leave me alone, bro. Leave me alone. So of course you have to get weapons and things like that. The worst thing you do is scare some villagers to steal some food. It's not like you're doing anything wrong. For the most part, you're pretty peaceful. And these heroes just keep dumping on you. So when I found out there's another dungeon crawler game that has that kind of vibe, but you're playing the hero, I was like, okay, we'll see what happens when you do the opposite vibes. I also used to love Dungeons and Dragons when I was a kid. And so I found this game and I was like, I have to get it. And in case you can't tell, I'm 100% a nerd, guys. 100% grew up a nerd, and I love every second of it. Last but not least, we have Tiny Epic Dinosaurs. This is 100% a worker placement game. Basically, in this game, you are farming dinosaurs that you then sell to various amusement parks. But naturally, if you're farming dinosaurs, mistakes can happen. If you don't have enough space for your dinosaurs, the babies get out, they get eaten. Sometimes they eat the other dinosaurs. You might have some difficulty with capturing dinosaurs. You may get scratched and you might need to go to the medic ward, things like that. So overall, very, very cute game where you're basically just farming your dinosaurs and you're trying to sell them and you're just trying to live your ranching life in peace. Very, very cute game. I love the little dinosaur icons, and I love the fact that every single special dinosaur has its own unique piece. This game has a ton of pieces and they're all in one bag, which makes it a little bit confusing. But you're basically taking your farmland and you're building out your farmland by using the various gray pieces in here to build your blockade so your dinosaurs can't get out. You can allow your dinosaurs to meet, make friends, mate, do all kinds of crazy things. Your unique dinosaurs have special abilities as well, in which case you may get to keep the dinosaur, you may have to sell the dinosaur in order to achieve it. You also have rival ranchers that are going at you and trying to defeat you. You also have various cards in this game of contracts that you're trying to fulfill in order for you to be able to successfully make money off of your dinosaurs. Overall, just a very, very cute vibe and a cute game. And again, this one in particular is not a table hog, but I just love the fact that all these games pack down into such small boxes. Now, I wouldn't say any of these games are like 10 out of 10, the best game on the planet, greatest game in the world. Absolutely not. But I do think for what they are great gameplay. They offer replayability because there's uniqueness to every single version of this game that you play every time you play it. And I also love the fact that it packs a punch in such a tiny box. I mean, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So those are all the Tiny Epic games I bought. Now, on top of that, for those that don't know, I am in the medical field, and my husband is also a pharmaceutical sales rep and has an organic chemistry PhD. I personally am a podiatrist, and so I absolutely love the fact that we found a game that basically allows us to combine both of our jobs. This game is a little dark, so maybe not for everybody, but bear with me here. This game is called Side Effects. The game concept is you start the game off with a psyche of mental disorders, and the goal of the game is to cure these mental disorders. So when I say you're having mental disorders, I'm talking about you may have some suicidal thoughts, you may end up with a painkiller addiction, you may have some pain, you may have some anxiety, you can get impotence. There's all kinds of dry mouth, all kinds of conditions that you can develop. And I love the fact that they look like little tarot cards. And basically, you are trying to cure your various diseases. Now, you can do this through medications or therapy. Therapy allows you to get rid of the disease completely, but as is true with anyone who's gone through therapy, unless you keep up with your exercises and you take care of your mental health, you can always relapse, which is the same case with this game, meaning you can get that disorder again. For those who get treated by drugs, the drugs, unfortunately, can have side effects, which means you can then develop the side effects of said drugs. the first person who cures all of their disorders and is completely free of their illnesses is the person who wins. I think that while this is a very dark game, it's a great, great party game. It was really, really fun to play with a lot of my friends. And I think in general, it was just such a fun way to learn a lot of medicine as well. The other thing that was really fun about this is the drugs are actually real drugs. So like you have fluoxetine to treat depression, you have lorazepam to treat anxiety. So they're real drugs, and some of the side effects that they're listing are actually very real as well. So if anyone in your family is in the medical field, this is a great game to get for them. This is available on Amazon, and it does actually have an expansion pack as well. I have both. The original base game plus the expansion together is about $32, and I highly recommend. It's a great tabletop game. It's super tiny, super small, easy to pack, easy to run with, and it's literally written and played like a pill bottle. I absolutely love it. And that brings us to the end of the games section of this video. So let's jump into the bookish related content, and then we'll go from there. So I love a company called Wrong Wrong. They do washi tapes, they do bookish related covers for your Kindles and things like that. They also do reading journals, and I actually have my current reading journal from them. So I decided that I wanted to get another set. First and foremost, I did pick up some washi tape. So I got this set. I got two of them actually, which is their library edition. So within this, you have, ooh, I'm breaking things. We have the washi tape of the books, which I think is so, so cute. So you have the lined up books in that. You have the reading girly in this little strip here of washi tape, which I just think is so, so cute. And then you also have the antiquated like paper. So documents and letters and things like that, that calligraphy kind of old-timey newspaper-esque writing, which I just think is so much fun. So that's on one side. And then you also get with it washi tape, more washi tape of books, which gave me very much Harry Potter vibes, which I absolutely love. Like, look at that little owl. Oh my gosh, it's so cute, guys. I'm obsessed. Then we also got just some plain washi tape. This reminds me of the Gryffindor colors from Harry Potter. And then you also have the larger roll of tape, which has like the bookshelves and things like that in it, which I absolutely adore. So I got two of these washi tape sets, which I just think are so great. Outside of that, I also got their coffee themed washi tape as well. So it has like little buildings at the bottom in terms of the washi tape. You can also pull off these stickers of the coffees, the donuts, the larger shops. And I just think it's so much fun for decorating a planner or a journal. So that's the first thing I got from Wrong Wrong. I absolutely love their washi tape. I think they do such a great job. Of course, mine is currently covered in cat hair because I do have two cats and they get their hair everywhere. Next up, I have the reading journal, which is absolutely amazing. This is the All Booked Up reading journal, which is the Book Lovers Journal 2 that they've created. I just love the scheme. I love the green. My favorite color is green, so I'm obsessed with this. And then as you turn in, you have this beautiful, beautiful set of the introductory page where you can write your name, as well as this backboard here, which I love that picture of just the coffee table and the books. I just think that's so pretty. Once you turn into this, you have on your first section the actual bookshelf. So this is where you can write out all the books on the spines to keep track of all the books that you've read. You also have a reading tracker where you can actually go in and mark the different books. You have a key here so you can keep track of them, which I absolutely love. And then you also have in here the reading log tracker where you can actually write the name, the title, as well as your stars for what you think of the book. Then as you move through, you have on the next tab the book of the month. So you can basically write down your favorite book for the month as well as the star rating that you would give it. And then you also have continued pages of this throughout the course of this tab. Then as you move into the next tab, you have more space to write down the books that you've read, as well as the title, the author, and the dates that you read it, should you want to keep more information there. You also have a section here where you can do a book wish list. So you can actually write out all the books that you're waiting for that year, that you're interested in reading, potentially even keeping track of your physical TBR. And then you also have a section for your favorites, your favorite book, your favorite quotes, your thoughts on the book, where you can jot that down as well. And then I personally love this page. This is probably my favorite. This is where you have the book quotes section. I mean, just look at that. I love that little hippogriff. And then you have, of course, the snake up here, which reminds me of Slytherin vibes, which is just so great. And then as we get into the next section, again, we have more of that Harry Potter vibe. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to open this up because, yeah. But look at that. I love this. So this is, again, your book review section where you can do the title. You can do the author, the dates published. You can put a picture of the book here if you wanted to. You can do your book summary and your book reviews. So you have a bunch of pages to do that. And then in the very back, you actually have your dot grid pages, so you can literally write and do whatever you want. I love how easy these dots are to see and how easy it is to make grids out of them. But overall, it's very customizable, I feel. And I really love the fact that it doesn't require too much thinking or planning. You can just literally open it up anywhere on the go and jot down whatever you need to about the books that you're reading. So I also realized this video in and of itself is super, super long. So I am going to talk about the books that I got for my birthday, and we're gonna wrap this section of the birthday haul up, and this will just be the bookish board game vibes, which I think is more suitable to this channel. And then I'll do the rest of the haul in a secondary video where I do part 2 of the birthday haul, which is more about the items that I purchased that would be more associated with the upcoming trip, as well as the nicer items I picked up for myself. So the first 2 books that I wanted to show are actually books that I kind of sort of showed earlier, but it is Only a Monster and Never a Hero by Vanessa Len. These are from Fairy Loot. And I'm very excited to have them. They're both so beautiful. So if you look at the interior cover of this book, I just love the finishes. So this is actually a purple filigree. Like, how beautiful is that? And I love the little mermaid. And then on here you have the painted edges, and I love those finishes. And then you also have, as you turn into the book, the beautiful, beautiful cover arts and the front plate and back plate of the book. And it's just so stunning. So that is Only a Monster, Never a Hero by Vanessa Len from Fairy Loot. And then we also have Never a Hero by Vanessa Len. I also thought this one was so stunning, and it's just beautiful. Look at that back. Look at the gold filigree. So, so stunning. And then all of these books are also signed. I forgot to mention that. So this is signed by the author, which is really cool. But we have here the beautiful wolf and the blue. Oh, it's just so pretty. I love, love, love that finish. And then as you open up to the front page, again, you have that beautiful artwork inside the book. And I just can't wait. I just can't wait to read this. And then here is the signed note from the author, which I'm super excited about. So that was the first set of books that I hauled from Fairy Loot. And these books are actually on my TBR for the upcoming month of July. So after I read them, I will definitely give you guys the rundown of what I thought. The next book that I picked up is actually the newer TJ Klune book. I absolutely am obsessed with his writing style. I don't normally go for same gender romance, not because I have anything against it. I think any kind of romance is beautiful, but more because I can't personally oftentimes relate to it. But I think there's just a way that TJ Klune does the story where it's just about human connection. And I love that. You can relate to every single one of his characters. Doesn't matter what background you're from. He just weaves such a beautiful, heartfelt tale. And that's what I love about his overall writing. So the book that I picked up is called The Bones Beneath My Skin. And this is the new TJ Klune book. I absolutely adore this copy. Like, how stunning are those painted edges? I just think this is so gorgeous. Now this one doesn't have too much work on the actual book cover, but I just think it's absolutely lovely with the painted edges. And I'm so, so excited to read this book about the found family that is discovered on this road trip as 2 people are basically potentially at they might actually end up dying at the end of the book. I couldn't fully understand that concept. But very much excited to see where this book will take me. The next book I picked up is The Teller of Small Fortunes. I've read reviews on this book, and everyone who's read it basically says that it's so beautiful that it just makes you want to cry, and it's just absolutely gorgeous and stunning. So I'm very, very excited for this book. This is by Julie Leong, and this particular copy is the Fairy Loot copy. And I just think it's so gorgeous. I mean, look at the cat, guys. Oh my gosh, the kitty cat. And look at these painted edges. Isn't that stunning? Isn't that just mwah? And it says, small fortunes, big feelings. And I absolutely love that. It does actually have the original cover on the inside as well. So you can also use that cover if you prefer it. I obviously prefer this cover, so I tend to use this side. And then this is the actual cover of the book. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. Here's the cover art, or not the cover. What is this called? The book plate? I don't actually know what this is called, but whatever it is called, it is quite stunning. Oh my God, so pretty. So, so, so gorgeous. And it actually comes with a little letter from the author that she wrote out for us. And it's just, it's too beautiful. I don't even have words for how beautiful this book is. I'm very, very excited to read this. It seems like a very feel-good, happy vibes book. So I will definitely be picking it up with a little taste of magical realism, and I cannot wait. I can't tell if it's cozy fantasy or if it's magical realism, but either way, I'm very excited to jump into this book, and I will definitely be giving you guys reviews when I do. And then last but not least, in terms of books that I picked up for my birthday this year, I got Our Infinite Fates. This is the Owl Crate version. This book just sounds so beautiful, and I love the idea of love so powerful that it traverses lives, like really? And this idea of time travel, I think, is also very cool. These are the beautiful painted edges of this book. It's so pretty. It is so pretty, it hurts. It says, maybe that's all love is in the end, an endless tempting of fate. Just so freaking pretty. Like, I don't even have words, guys. Don't even have words. Here is the inner cover. Ah, it's stunning. It's so pretty. And then here's the gold filigree. I absolutely love this cover. And it says 1,000 years of you. And then on the back, until we meet again, my love. So beautiful with this tree. Oh, it's just gorgeous. It makes me want to cry. It says here, year after year, century after century, new flowers from old roots, an eternal seed from which life will always bloom. And I love that. Back of the book. Beautiful. And I love you, and I have loved you, and I will love you. Like, that's just, ugh, I'm dying. I'm dying with how beautiful this is. And then on the inside cover, we have a note from the author as well as the author's signature, which I just think is so sweet. And I am pumped to read this book. This is actually on my TBR for June, so hopefully I will get to it this month. But I am going to be honest, I'm running a little bit behind. I didn't think The Goldfinch would take me as long as it is taking me to finish. This is the Donna Tartt book, but I am loving every second of it. But hopefully I'll be able to get to this book at some point this month. That is the goal. If not, it will definitely be picked up probably closer to October timeframe. But either way, love this book cover. And that brings me to the end of the bookish, board game-ish haul that was committed for my birthday. Yes, I probably should be committed for this haul, but I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I also did get some ACOTAR-themed PJs, which have not arrived yet. I don't know when they're actually going to ship out, which is the only cause for concern, but I'm very excited. Very, very, very excited. But basically, they're super, super cute, and they have like the ACOTAR books on the bottom, and then it has like the wings at the top, which is really cute. And then I got another set that has various items from ACOTAR on it, so like the cauldron and Reese's wings and things like that. So if those ever arrive, you will not only probably see them, but you'll also see me filming in them. And that basically brings me to the completion of the haul that I did for my birthday on bookish related content. Thank you so much if you made it this far, because I realized part 1 was quite long. Part 2 will be coming shortly with all of the other items that was purchased for the birthday haul that has nothing to do with books or board games. If you are new here and you enjoyed this content and you like bookish related anything really, then you're definitely in the right spot. Consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell, because I would love to have you back in our bookish community. For those of you that are returning, thank you so much for being here. It means the world to me that you guys are here and you're helping me build this community. And it's just so much fun to share all of these exciting things with everyone and talk all things books. So wherever you are, whether it's morning, evening, or night, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will catch you on the flip side with the next video. Bye, guys.